Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and this is Nightline. Here are the top stories. Investigations into corruption cases must follow due process, says PM. And ex-Goldman Sachs banker jailed for 2 years. Sentence too light, says one MDB task force chairman. Good morning. His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim and Her Majesty the Raja Permaisuri Agong Raja Zarit Sofia have extended their Keamatan Festival and Gawai Day greetings to all Malaysians celebrating the occasions. His Majesty noted that the celebrations are a gesture of gratitude marking the end of the harvest season and also serve as a reminder for the people to remain thankful for the blessings they have received. In a social media post on Friday, Sultan Ibrahim expressed appreciation for Malaysia's cultural diversity, highlighting the nation's rich heritage and harmonious multiracial society. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the cultural and ethnic diversity in Sabah is not merely a heritage but a foundation of the nation's strength.
Dengan semangat, keamatan untuk Tuan Sanan ini itu memberi kehebatan yang lebih, mengangkat kedudukan Malaysia sebagai negara yang terkenal di dunia ini.
Anwar said this in his speech after officiating the Sabah state-level Keamatan Festival celebration in Penampang on Friday. He reminded Malaysians to embrace diversity as a strength and a unifying force rather than allowing it to divide society. He also thanked the people of Sabah and the state leaders for the warm welcome and unity reflected in the festival. In another development, Anwar emphasised that he would not use his position as Prime Minister to protect any party involved in wrongdoing, nor any whistleblower. He clarified that all corruption cases, including investigations into the alleged mining scandal in Sabah, must adhere to proper procedures and the rule of law. Anwar stressed that prosecutions in any corruption case must be based on evidence, carried out in accordance with due process and not merely on arbitrary instructions. In his opening speech, Anwar also addressed for the first time the viral video clips leaked by a purported whistleblower, implicating several Sabah State Assemblymen in the alleged mining scandal.
Mengikut SPRM, baru 1 bulan yang lalu ada yang dikatakan video lengkap, maka SPRM rujuk pada forensik untuk sahkan dan itu laku masalah siasatan. Maknanya siasatan yang lebih rapi boleh diteruskan.
Anwar also highlighted the importance of the roles and powers of the executive, enforcement agencies and the judiciary.
Ini Perdana Menteri bukan diktator, Pak. Saya ikut hukum. Saya kena lalui proses. Saya tidak boleh tangkap begitu. Ada orang bermanya, oh kamu dah nampak, ada duit dia 100 juta. Mengapa belum dakwa? Siasat itu kerja SPRM atau polis. Dakwa itu kerja peguam negara. Hukum itu kerja hakim.
Previously, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the MACC will recall all individuals allegedly involved in the scandal to obtain fresh statements. This follows the completion of the forensic report on the controversial videos linked to the corruption scandal that went viral on social media last year, which has now been submitted to the investigating officers. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister assured that the federal government consistently takes into account the needs and requests of the states when setting project priorities under the 13th Malaysia Plan. Anwar emphasised that project priorities cannot be determined solely by the federal government, rather they are jointly decided with the state governments.
Cara langsung kita dengar dan kita beri perhatian. Saudara, ini hanya berlaku kerana keseragaman, kerana hubungan akrab dan baik, kerana saling meyakini di antara satu sama lain. Sebab itu saya katakan, kalau mau Malaysia ini terangkat kedudukannya, kalau mau Sabah maju, mesti ada semangat untuk bina kekuatan Sabah.
Anwar added that the spirit must be nurtured through strong unity between the federal and state governments. He also reminded the public not to raise issues that could undermine this close relationship merely for political gain, especially in the lead-up to the Sabah state election. Former Goldman Sachs banker Tim Leisner, a key figure in the One Malaysia Development Berhad scandal, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison by a court in New York. During sentencing, Leisner offered an apology to the people of Malaysia for his involvement in the high-profile corruption case. Presiding Judge Margot Brodie delivered a scathing rebuke during the proceedings, describing Leisner's actions as brazen and audacious. While acknowledging his cooperation with authorities, she stressed that the damage inflicted was extensive, spanning multiple countries. Visibly emotional as he read out his statement in court, Leisner offered a sincere apology to the people of Malaysia and expressed deep regret over his actions. He also told the hearing that the scandal had cost him dearly, stripping him of his freedom, family and financial stability. Leisner, a former chairman for Goldman in Southeast Asia, pleaded guilty in 2018 to charges of conspiracy to violate the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and money laundering in connection with the 1MDB scandal. Meanwhile, 1MDB Task Force Committee Chairman Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the 2-year prison sentence handed to Leisner was not proportionate to the severity of his crimes. He stressed that Leisner was one of the main perpetrators in the 1MDB scandal and the offences he committed had caused significant damage to Malaysia's economy.
Hukuman yang telah dijatuhkan kepada tim Leisner hanya 2 tahun berbanding kesalahan yang telah dilakukan terhadap 1MDB yang boleh membawa kepada penjara 25 tahun adalah terlalu pendek dan singkat, dan ianya telah memberi satu message seolah-olah melakukan jenayah white collar ni boleh hanya dikenakan 2 tahun berbanding apa yang berlaku kepada 1MDB ni.
Leisner's 2-year prison sentence is also seen as disproportionately short when compared to the 10-year sentence handed down to another former Goldman Sachs banker, Roger Ng, who was also convicted in New York of helping to loot billions of dollars from Malaysia. However, Johari acknowledged that Malaysia has no authority to interfere with the jurisdiction of the United States court. He also stressed that his priority remains on efforts to recover the funds lost as a result of the 1MDB scandal.
Kita berterusan mencari kaedah-kaedah untuk mendapatkan semula wang-wang yang telah hilang yang melibatkan banyak institusi lain lah. Kita semua dalam proses. Terutamanya sekarang ni Goldman Sachs masih lagi berhutang dan tidak menjelaskan 1.4 bilion USD kerana dia telah dispute dari segi settlement agreement telah ditandatangani oleh kerajaan sebelum ini pada tahun 2020.
Prospek keanggotaan penuh Timor Leste dalam ASEAN. Komitmen Malaysia perkukuh integrasi ekonomi. Mekanisme kerjasama serantau mendepani perubahan geopolitik global. Kupasannya dalam Soal Rakyat bersama Profesor Dr. Muhammad Mizan Aslam. Sabtu 31 Mei 5.30 petang hanya di TV3.
3 more individuals, including a businessman with the title of Tan Sri, have been arrested to assist in investigations into an investment fraud scheme involving MBI International Group. With the latest arrests, authorities seized and froze assets worth over 527 million ringgit, bringing the total value of seized assets to 3.8 billion ringgit. The suspects, all men aged between 46 and 58, were detained during a series of raids under Op Northern Star, carried out in Kuala Lumpur and Pulau Pinang between May 1st and 17th. As part of the operation, police have frozen and seized a wide range of assets believed to be proceeds from the fraudulent scheme. Among them were 4 yachts and 3 boats valued at 36.3 million ringgit and 477 properties worth 150 million ringgit in total.
Nilai ini akan bertambah lagi bila kita dapat kerjasama daripada PTG untuk memberitahu kepada kita yang kita percaya banyak lagi dia punya hartanah. 4 unit kondominium dianggarkan bernilai 12 juta, 37 akaun bank berjumlah 328 juta, wang tunai ringgit Malaysia berjumlah 283,000.
Also seized were 3 luxury vehicles, 2 luxury watches and 5 mobile phones. With the arrests, the number of individuals detained in the MBI investment fraud case stands at 17. Crime Investigation Department Acting Director Datuk Muhammad Hasbullah Ali did not rule out the possibility of further arrests and asset seizures. Asked whether any politicians were involved in the syndicate, he said none had been identified so far, but did not dismiss the possibility pending further investigations. In another case, police on May 13th dismantled 2 scam call centres in Kajang and Cheras, with workers impersonating Japanese police to carry out fraudulent activities. The syndicate is believed to have begun operations 2 months ago, targeting Japanese nationals. The group's modus operandi involved sending out an SMS claiming that an individual had been arrested for fraud and that police in Osaka had found a bank card registered under the recipient's name. The syndicate utilizes a mobile application which enables caller ID spoofing, allowing them to imitate the official Osaka police telephone number, thereby gaining the trust of the victim and manipulating them into transferring money into accounts controlled by the syndicate. 19 individuals, including 13 Japanese nationals, were nabbed, along with seizures worth 45,000 ringgit. 2 Chinese nationals and 3 Taiwanese nationals were charged in court on May 16th and 22nd. 6 Japanese men are scheduled to be charged on June 3rd. Datuk Seri Tengku Zafrul Aziz has resigned from all posts in AMNO along with his membership in the party. The Investment, Trade and Industry Minister has also expressed his intention to join PKR. In a statement posted on his social media account on Friday, Tengku Zafrul said he had submitted a letter to AMNO's leadership stating his decision to resign as a member of the AMNO Supreme Council, the Kota Raja Division Chief and as a member of the party. The Dewan Negara member also expressed his intention to join PKR to the party's President and Secretary General and will follow the usual application process to become a member. Malaysia has reaffirmed its full support for the Tokyo Statement 2025, pledging the country's commitment to building resilient, inclusive and sustainable digital infrastructure across the Asia-Pacific region. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadil said Malaysia remains committed to ensuring universal access, technological equity and environmental sustainability in the digital space.
In this spirit, we reaffirm our national commitment to ensuring universal access, technological equity and environmental sustainability in the digital domain. Malaysia has conducted extensive efforts of ensuring quality access and technological inclusion through education and supportive ecosystem throughout the nation.
Speaking at the Asia-Pacific Telecoms Ministerial meeting in Tokyo, he outlined the government's efforts to expand digital reach nationwide. Through initiatives like Jendela, the country has connected over 9.03 million premises to high-speed internet and extended 5G coverage to over 82% of populated areas. He also pointed out that as of December 2024, Malaysia recorded an average mobile broadband speed of 105.36 megabits per second and internet coverage of 98.6%. Credit and charge card transactions in Malaysia are projected to grow by 4% this year to 814.1 billion ringgit. According to data and analytics company Global Data, the steady rise is attributed to the increasing adoption of card payments among consumers, especially with the growing popularity of contactless payments and digital wallets. In contrast, cash withdrawals via automated teller machines or ATMs are forecast to decline sharply, falling 49.8% this year, indicating indicating a continued shift towards cashless transactions. Looking ahead, card payment transactions are expected to further expand to reach nearly 970 billion ringgit by 2029. Between 2020 and 2024, card-based transactions in Malaysia recorded an average annual growth rate of 20%, driven by various digitalization efforts and the widespread use of electronic payment methods. The Thai economy improved in April from March, driven by the manufacturing sector after a sharp increase in exports drove inventory replenishment, helped also by a slight rise in tourism. The central bank said on Friday that total exports rose 9.9% in April from a year earlier, and imports increased by 17.3%, leading to a trade deficit of $1.4 billion. The bank said it was too early to see adverse impacts from the US tariff policy announced in early April, noting that private investment continued to expand. However, while the tourism sector slightly improved from March, it remained weaker compared to the same period last year. Killed in bus and car collision. This and more when we come back.
Nak kerja buat apa? Ni aku nak buka bisnes kopi untuk kita ni. Konsep bisnes kita ni mewah. Biji kopi tu sini kena rare.
Drama bersiri sulung Nik Amir Mustafa.
Aku rasa aku tak boleh jual lah band ni.
Lelaki tak bercerita, tapi diam-diam je. Move on. Bina life baru.
Tapi perangai you macam...
Tepi. Ya, you tak apa, you okey.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini. Ada idea drama yang boleh viral atau nak jadi pelakon di TV3? Pitch story korang selama 10 minit berserta slide presentation ke TV3. Atau sertai pencarian pelakon drama sangat pada 14 Jun di Universiti Malaya dan Dallas University 21 Jun. Berumur 18 hingga 25 tahun. Tak kisah nak genre romantik, komedi, cinta atau isu semasa pun boleh. Menang hadiah terkumpul RM9,000 jika idea korang diterbitkan oleh Media Prima. Atau boleh berlakon sekali dalam karya drama sangat.
Dah sedia untuk Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur? Banyak aktiviti menarik menanti di booth studio tonton drama sangat. Pertandingan cosplay Ejen Ali untuk dewasa dan kanak-kanak. Maskot Ejen Ali dan Ejen Alicia pun ada. Test level berani di Thrill Rumah Hantu. Juga temui barisan pelakon drama sangat, personaliti TV3, TV9 dan tonton. Jumpa di studio tonton drama sangat Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur di KL Base 30 Mei hingga 1 Jun ini, okey? Jom!
Tragedi yang menjadi sejarah hitam.
Api itu besar macam jet pejuang tu. Kan? Very big.
Bahang yang cukup luar biasa.
Pijak tu terlekat tapak kaki dia.
Soal harta atau nyawa.
Ada yang tinggal isteri pun ada yang tinggal anak pun ada. Kenapa lama sangat Datuk nak siapkan report ni?
Saksikan secara eksklusif dalam podcast utama Buletin TV3 di semua platform media sosial Buletin TV3.
Welcome back. In Kuala Lumpur, police dismantled a Taiwanese drug syndicate attempting to set up a vape drug laboratory in Malaysia. This follows a raid on a luxury condominium in Brickfields on Wednesday, which led to the arrest of 2 Taiwanese nationals believed to be a chemist and a storekeeper. Authorities said the operation resulted in the seizure of 104 kilograms of liquid amphetamine, vape liquid, empty vape cartridges, and equipment believed to be used for processing the cartridges, all estimated to be worth 3.29 million ringgit. Based on initial investigations, the syndicate is believed to have rotated its chemists and changed locations every 3 months in an attempt to avoid detection. Acting Bukit Aman Narcotic Crime Investigation Department or NCID Director, Deputy Commissioner Madzani Muhammad Salahuddin Che Ali warned the public against using drug-laced vape products.
kesan dia kepada mereka yang menggunakan adalah boleh menyebabkan kegagalan fungsi hati, kerosakan otak, gangguan emosi, dan ekoran daripada itu boleh menjadi ketagihan dan juga kematian mengejut akibat serangan jantung ataupun kegagalan pernafasan.
He added that the drug-laced vape cartridges were being sold for about 180 ringgit in Malaysia and up to 400 ringgit in Taiwan. Police believe that these suspects are part of a larger drug network orchestrated by a kingpin based in Taiwan and have sought assistance from Taiwanese authorities to aid in the investigation. Checks on the suspects also revealed that they have multiple prior convictions for various offences in their home country. Both suspects have been remanded for a week starting Thursday to assist with investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. 3 people were killed when the car they were travelling in collided head-on with an express bus along Jalan Kuala Krai, Gua Musang on Friday morning. The victims, 2 women and a man, died at the scene of the 11 a.m. crash, which occurred in Kampung Sungai Sam. A Kuala Krai Fire and Rescue Station spokesman said a team was deployed to the scene after receiving an emergency call at 11:20 a.m. Upon arrival, the team found an express bus and a Perodua Myvi involved in a collision with the 3 victims pinned in the car. All were believed to have died at the scene after sustaining severe head and bodily injuries and were later handed over to the police. The bus driver sustained minor injuries. Meanwhile, Kuala Krai District Police Chief Superintendent Mazlan Mahmad said initial investigations showed that the driver of the Myvi had tried but failed to overtake another vehicle before colliding with the oncoming bus. The Land Public Transport Agency, or APAD, has revoked the operating licence of the company linked to the crash that killed 9 Federal Reserve Unit, or FRU, men on May 13th. The revocation takes effect from May 29th. APAD said its investigations revealed that the company had committed multiple safety breaches, including transporting goods not authorised under its vehicle permit. The company also failed to comply with its industry code of practice and did not provide access to essential operational records. It was also found to be operating with a non-functional and expired GPS tracking system. Rock collapse kills dozens. The details after this breather.
Carnival Jom Heboh kembali menggegarkan Kuala Lumpur hujung Mei ini bersama selebriti Shazza Bey, Kody Rashid, Shah Iskandar dan ramai lagi di studio tonton drama sangat. Personaliti media prima, nasi lemak kopi O serta maskot Ejen Ali dan Ejen Alisha berheboh di konsert Jom Heboh sambil menyertai pelbagai pertandingan, aktiviti sukan dan pesta makanan untuk seisi keluarga. Jom beramai-ramai ke KL Base Kuala Lumpur dari 30 Mei hingga 1 Jun ini. Jom, jom, jom!
Peningnya, kecil ke besar, besar ke kecil? Mestilah I nak yang besar. Persoalannya, saiz apa yang puas? Mestilah saiz 65 inci. Lagi besar, lagi layan.
Juara!
Wow! Lagi layan tengok tonton dekat Smart TV besar. 99 sen je.
Lagi besar skrin, lagi puas stream. Layan tonton di Smart TV, repeat sampai pagi.
Jom.
Dah sedia untuk Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur? Banyak aktiviti menarik menanti di booth studio tonton drama sangat. Pertandingan cosplay Ejen Ali untuk dewasa dan kanak-kanak. Maskot Ejen Ali dan Ejen Alisha pun ada. Test level berani di Thrill Rumah Hantu. Juga temui barisan pelakon drama sangat, personaliti TV3, TV9 dan tonton. Jumpa di studio tonton drama sangat Carnival Jom Heboh Kuala Lumpur di KL Base 30 Mei hingga 1 Jun ini, okey? Jom!
Ada idea drama yang boleh viral atau nak jadi pelakon di TV3? Pitch story korang selama 10 minit berserta slide presentation ke TV3. Atau sertai pencarian pelakon drama sangat pada 14 Jun di Universiti Malaya dan Talis University 21 Jun. Berumur 18 hingga 25 tahun. Tak kisah nak genre romantik, komedi, cinta atau isu semasa pun boleh. Menang hadiah terkumpul RM9,000 jika idea korang diterbitkan oleh media prima. Atau boleh berlakon sekali dalam karya drama sangat.
On to the foreign front. At least 13 people were killed and 12 others injured following a rock collapse at a limestone quarry in Indonesia on Friday. The incident in West Java province also left dozens of others trapped under the rubble. The 12 injured have been taken to nearby hospitals, with 2 returning home later that day after sustaining only minor injuries. In the meantime, rescuers decided to halt the evacuation and resume the operation Saturday morning for fear of another rockfall. Authorities said around 20 more people remain trapped under the landslide, though the final toll has yet to be confirmed due to the sudden nature of the incident.
Komandan SAR di Cirebon, Arif.
A ceasefire proposal from the administration of the US President Donald Trump is still under discussion by Hamas. The group warned, however, that in its current form, the pause would only lead to continued killing and famine in Gaza. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Thursday that Israel had signed off on the ceasefire proposal and the Trump administration's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, had submitted it to Hamas for consideration. However, a member of Hamas's political bureau said the deal failed to meet any of the people's demands, particularly the call for an end to the war. Nonetheless, he said the group's leadership and reviewed the proposal responsibly and would respond by Friday or Saturday. Citing a draft, Reuters reported that the proposal included a 60-day ceasefire during which 28 Israeli hostages would be exchanged for 1,236 Palestinian prisoners and the remains of 180 others. Meanwhile, at least 28 Palestinians have been killed so far in Israeli air raids on the Gaza Strip since dawn. Turning to sports now, football, the Tier 1 international friendly. Malaysia's steady progress in international football was evident as Harimau Malaya held world number 72, Cape Verde, to a 1-1 draw on Thursday night. National head coach Peter Klimovsky praised his squad's performance, stating that the result reflects the hard work and commitment of the team. Klimovsky also highlighted several key chances that went unconverted, but remained proud of his squad's ability to match Cape Verde's tactical pace throughout the 90 minutes.
Listen, for us it's a really clear focus on what we're doing as a team, and tonight showed that. It's a reflection of every day that we spend together, the way we train, the mentality that we train with, and the mentality that we have off the pitch as well. Highest level, highest standards that we carry into every day, with that mindset of getting better every day. All moving the ball around, I think we grew into the game there and ultimately created a lot of chances to score some goals. So we could have scored more than one tonight. I think we're disappointed not to win, but again, we'll take the positives and take the areas we can keep growing and keep building.
Malaysia will once again face Cape Verde in a friendly match behind closed doors at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil on June 3rd. The two friendlies against Cape Verde are in preparation for Malaysia to face Vietnam in the second Group F match of the 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers on June 10th. On to badminton now, the 2025 Singapore Open. National men's doubles pair Aaron Chia and So Wei Yik gained sweet revenge by beating compatriots Man Wei Chong and Thi Kai Woon to reach the semi-finals on Friday. In the All-Malaysian quarter-final, third seeds Aaron and Wei Yik were forced to push hard for every point, but ultimately held their nerve to defeat the spirited young duo. The Paris Olympic bronze medalists booked their spot in the semi-finals with a 22-20, 21-17 win in just 33 minutes, avenging last week's defeat to their compatriots in the Malaysian Masters final. However, the same could not be said for world number 1 men's doubles pair Goh Zifei and Nur Muhammad Izzuddin Rumsani, who were knocked out in the quarter-finals by India's former world champions Chirag Shetty and Satwik Sairaj Rankireddy 17-21, 15-21. Top women's doubles pair Buletin and Amtina also missed out on a spot in the semi-finals after falling to China's world number 7 Jia Yifan and Zhang Shuxian 21-14, 22-24, 14-21 in a hard-fought 72-minute match. Malaysia suffered another blow when mixed doubles pair Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai were eliminated in the quarterfinals, losing 19-21, 22-20, 17-21 to Thailand's 8th-ranked duo Dek Kapol, Dupara Nukro and Supisara Piu Sampran after 64 minutes on court. Earlier, men's singles shuttler Leong Junhao saw his run come to an end at the hands of reigning world champion Kunlavut Vititsarn from Thailand. Despite putting up a strong fight, the world number 25 ultimately went down 13-21, 11-21 to the dominant Kunlavut. And that wraps up Nightline this time around. Before we leave, a glimpse of China's Dragon Boat Festival, where races in Guangdong set to take on sharp turns in high-speed dragon boat drift racing, a tradition known as Formula One on water. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.